Hey everybody, welcome to a Lost Caverns of Ixalan draft. Shout out to Wizards of the Coast for giving me a free preview account in the early access event so I could get this recorded. Let's get started. If you're interested in a overview of the set, I have a draft guide already posted where I cover top commons, archetype overviews, and things like that. But we have our pack. Tarian's Journal is pretty interesting. You can sacrifice your creatures, but only at sorcery speed. And eventually you can flip it and recast your creatures, which is pretty good, but it's a bit slow. There's also Thrashing Brontodon as a very just rock solid card. And other than that, none of these cards are that impressive to me. Envoy of Okenek Ahau is good sometimes. There's some spots where this thing does a lot of work, but I think it's mainly between the rare as more of an experimental card, which I think generally is not the best. It's very slow, but if you flip it, it's very good. So having access to your entire graveyard is some inevitability, especially with a well-stocked graveyard. But until then, it's kind of a blank. I still think it's worth taking, though. Just that sort of inevitability is valuable. Okay, pack 2. This rare is not very good. It's only good if you get to descend 8, and that's kind of hard to do. There is Guardian of the Great Door, pretty reasonable card. I've seen people cast this for 2 mana a lot of the time in the mid game. This is another black card to follow up our first one. It's not one that I've seen in action. It's a bit slow, and so I don't think people can usually afford to do that, though it does fill the graveyard pretty well once you craft with it. This pack is honestly very slow. I could see taking Guardian of the Great Door here, or just taking Visage of Dread. Problem is Visage is a pretty terrible top deck, and this card really wants you to get to top deck mode, go late. A 1/4 could be good. I don't even know what to take here. I think this is the highest upside pick, so I'm going to take that. Okay. Now, a pack with much better cards. I think this guy is just quite nice. 4 mana, 3/2, but you do get another 3-drop out of it, so you get a lot of stuff for this card. Defossilize can be good in some situations. Spiketail can be good sometimes. I've actually really liked Spiketail. Glorifier is good if you have cheap things to sacrifice, which Tarian's Journal kind of wants you to have. Haven't been the biggest fan of Council of Echoes, mostly because I haven't really liked the blue decks that much, though this card's pretty good in blue decks. I think we'll just take the Geological Appraiser. Pretty easy pick. Okay, now we have a potential Akawali, the Seething Tower. That could go really well in a Tarian deck, because you can just like fill your graveyard, rebuy all your threats, that sort of thing. There's also a Join the Dead, which leaves me more flexible because this is like a black-green card, and this is just a black card, so I can just play Tarian's Journal this and play it with red, or with white, or with blue, or even still with green. We haven't really seen any other good green cards, so I think I'm just going to take Join the Dead. Monocolored card. I really like Deathcap Marionette. This card has been really annoying whenever my opponent plays it, so I'm going to just take this here. Fills the graveyard, and Death Touch is really good against all the big dinos running around. There's a Defossilize, there's a Capybara. A few white cards still. Glorifier of Suffering still in the pack. The lands I don't really prioritize. I find that I end up getting a couple usually from like weak packs, and they're okay. Yeah. I'll take that. Okay, now there's a Basking Capybara. River Herald Scout. This card becomes a 4/3, which is pretty good. Also, Malamet Veteran hits like a truck eventually. I'm not going to take the Nursery. I'll just take the Capybara. I feel like I wish I had Akawale now, but hindsight is 20/20 and all that. I think I'll take the Market Gnome. Plays well with my sacrifice themes, potentially, from the journal. And should be good in really any black-white deck. like a great glue card. Now a Fanatical Offering, another good card to sacrifice things with. I wouldn't mind a Soaring Sandwing, because that's a great way to get cards in your graveyard, and then Tarion can play it in the late game. But we'll just get cards like that later. Time to get Fanatical Offering in the deck. And I think currently we know we're playing black, but we could play any of the other colors. That was a yawn. Easy peasy. Okay. So there's another chance, which is nice, but it's not a permanent. I might just want Primordial Gnaw as a 5-drop that trades and gets some value. Just an easy 2-for-1 again. Another chance. The fact that you can't just play it is kind of annoying. Not that I really prioritize 5-drops, but you can play a couple. They're pretty good. Especially in these grindy late game decks, having more creatures is good for this. Though I guess with a finality counter, it exiles. So, not the best to replay with Tarions. Just chilling. Very relaxed. It's gonna be all good. Another sacrifice card. I kind of want that. I could also play this. Lets me buy back artifacts that have died or been sacrificed. I'll just keep taking the black cards. Beautiful. I love seeing a Rampaging Spiketail still in the pack. I'll take the 1/4. 2 mana 1/4 could be good for a defensive deck. It's well, late Capybara. Here I will take the Necropolis. I'm not sure I'm playing green really. I know there's another green-black drafter at the table because I passed the Akawali. And somebody definitely took that. And so fighting for green doesn't sound like the most fun. Late River Herald Scout. I don't think people like the blue cards. It's the vibe I'm getting. Ooh. So Huatli's good even if you can't activate it. And the only black card in this pack is this card. And the only white card is this card. So it's pretty low impact to just take the Huatli. It's better than all of my white cards here. I probably wouldn't splash it. But if I get a couple treasures from something. And there was a late Capybara. I think I took this over Akawali. No regrets. It's just good on its own. 2/3 that gets a land. I think I'll just grab this card. Exactly what I'm looking for. This card also is good for sack fodder. Sorry for only yawning. I've been playing this format a long time. All day. Ever since the early access event opened. 3/3, you get all you buff your guys. That's pretty good with Huatli, but we're just going to keep taking the cards for our deck and kind of ignore that we have a Huatli and a Capybara. For us, we're playing a black deck. And that's good enough for me. Could take this and be like, oh, we'll try to splash the activation, but it's just a lot of trouble for that, even though it is quite strong. Cenote Scout. There's a Mephitic Draft, though, which I really like. Now, I might wheel that. I can't play this rare. It's not really splashable for me. I think Draft is the card that I want for my deck the most. Because it plays well with my Journal and my Offering and my Acolyte. Cenote is really good, though. If I get a bunch of good green cards this pack, I'll be happy. Okay, I'll take a Cave Crawler. That's a nice touch. Now I get a Draft. There's also a Malicious Eclipse, but that kills a lot of my own guys. Capybara. Sure. I'll probably wheel the 1/4. I think this card can be good. Fills your graveyard. A little bit of pressure. This card's also a nice little top end guy, but for some reason I don't prioritize top end that highly. I mean, I generally find that I can get it. I like this card. Even without a lot of Explore, you just get a late game land that helps you win. Another Capybara. Koopabar sits in the old gum tree. Merry, merry king of the bushes, he laugh. Kookaburra laugh. It's not the same animal, but it is a fun joke. Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. Merry, merry king of the bushes, he. I'm liking this deck. It's very relaxed. I think this card could be good. Really nice pickup. I don't mind this card either. I could like play 1 planes to try and like splash using this activation. But the River Herald Guide is just really good, so no need to risk anything. This is another sacrifice outlet. Whoa, late Mephitic. Whatever it's called. Those last few picks just weren't my colors. Okay. There's a Tendril of the Myco Tyrant. I really like that. Gives me a way to win the late game. Akal Pakal is amazing. Between this and this, for me though. Basically the cards in my colors. But I think this late game insurance is going to be great. Fanatical Offering is nice though. I just like having a good late game creature. Malicious Eclipse currently kills like all of my stuff. I have 6 2-drops right now that I'm like pretty happy casting on turn 2, and a 1-drop. And yet I still feel like my late game is in good shape. So I'm happy with how this draft is going. Ooh, Cavern of Souls. This is for dino stuff. I don't have any dinos really. For me, it's just a 3-mana 3/3. I don't need a 2-drop. I only have 1 dino, but I'll still take the 3/3. I already have a copy of this guy that I'm probably not playing. Nice. This is a good pickup. Spelunker. Just cast it in the mid-game, get a bunch of spelunking done. Sometimes I forget to spelunk, and then I have to remind myself. Defossilize. Good with the spike tail. Don't really need that guy. I probably don't want to play the ones I already have, even, potentially. Dig site conservator. Nice. Deadweight is a great removal spell in my deck. I know that these are a bit small, but I like having my curve up while I'm drafting. This is 26 cards, so I'm going to have to make some cuts. So I think I'm going to have to cut some of these like medium-sized things. Ooh, another Fanatical Offering. This card is really good. Just 1 mana kill an artifact sometimes and win a combat. Just excellent. Ooh. I think that's solid, but I think it's worse than the Spiketail. Also, Sunbird standard. I never know how that works with something like Watley. Gonna cut the Malicious Eclipse. Gonna cut the Screaming Phantom. The Acolyte of Aclazats. The Armored Kincaller. We maybe could have splashed the Watley activation thing. Or that land, as I mentioned. Just trying to make some minor adjustments here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 2-drops now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't need all 3 of those. I just want to make sure I have a consistent curve of cards that go up the curve. Definitely feels like a 17 land deck, even though I have 2 Swamp Cyclers. This is the 40 that I've got right now. I think I like it. Slightly biased towards black. But I've got a lot of good early game. The mid game is solid. And then plenty of late game. Playing another Capybara could be correct, but I think playing 1 is fine. I'm going to run it like this. I hope you found the draft helpful, and I'll see you in the games. Before I get to the games, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons who support my content at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. If you have been enjoying my videos, if they've been helping you find more success in your draft and have more fun playing Magic, and you would like to show your support, then you can do so via Patreon. It is essentially a way to tip my channel, but it also comes with some cool rewards like access to my card-by-card tier list for Lost Caverns of Ixalan and other cool things like that. I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons who support at the credits level. And if you're interested in learning more, you can, of course, find that at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Without further ado, though, let's get to the games. Welcome to round 1. This is a pretty easy keep. Got an early Mephitic Draft. We've got a River Herald Guide. Early removal spell. Overall, everything you're hoping for in an opening hand. Almost certainly never cycling this. We'll just cast it. Now that we have this, it's more interesting. They can't counter because they don't have blue up. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. And then I'll try to use that to hit a bunch of land drops thanks to this. I could just explore 3 times. Trading a 4-2 vigilance for a 3-3 is okay. I'm going to get to reload with a lot of cards. I would have liked to get the scrying, but what I really just am going to do is mill every non-land and keep every land. Beautiful. 4 mana 2/2 draw 2 is pretty good. I have 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I'll definitely keep that. My hand is well stocked now, but Tarian's Journal can still be great. And this is going to flip into a land in a couple turns. I could have just drawn a card off the map, but I'm going to do this first. I have a lot of good cards in hand. I'm actually really interested in trying out this standard format because there's a lot of cool cards from the preview season that I want to try out. They could have a counterspell, but if they do, I'll just defossilize this back next turn. Still going to keep the map around for my Fanatical Offering. Sure. Easy peasy. Just keep a full grip of cards. Feels like it's going to be hard to lose if I do that. At a graveyard heyday. Oh, they get to put in the pit. Battle of the Mycoid Mazes. I'll trade. I could have explored with the map first to try and like make my guy big enough to attack past, but I wanted to just draw a card. filling my graveyard with the tomb section of this card now. Also want to present lethal. Wow. Still ramping. I think they're dead on board. Got the win. Let's go. I felt so good about that game. Just real calm the whole time. I was in a really not good headspace earlier because my drafts, yeah, they did not go well earlier in the event. I was losing a lot in games that felt like there was nothing I could have done, and that was really tough psychologically because I was like, well, what's happening? But that was really a good feeling. I'm glad we got that nice clean win, and honestly, I really liked the first pick that we made because that rare feels really good for like building an inevitability deck, which are my favorite decks to pilot probably, where it's like, okay, I can just do my thing, make some trades, and then eventually I have a late game that's really hard to deal with. Okay, on the play. I really want to mulligan this because I don't have anything powerful going on and I'm missing a color. This is much better. Much better. Keep this. Ditch the spike tail. It'll get shuffled back in because of Huatley. Huatley. I'll just play the Tendril because it hits harder. I'll save my Death Touchers for later. Especially this one because I want to start drawing cards off it ASAP. They're probably afraid of Malamute War Scythe. So now my big spike tail is shuffled back in, so that's good. I'm just going to play the Spelunker, hit as many lands as I can. I feel like it thrives as a 4-drop. You just have to be disciplined about milling away all the non-lands. I will keep that on top. This guy's a little bit scary, but we'll find an answer, I'm sure. Or just take the damage every turn, that's also fine. They're leaving up 4 mana. So they could have -5/-5 or something. They could have their own War Scythe. Okay. I could potentially enable this thing to draw me a card next turn if I explore a non-land permanent into the graveyard. probably going to try to explore with this guy. But not if they have mana up, because I don't want it to get blown out. Okay. Pretty good. Oh, they have the fight spell. Pretty good. What the heck? That's 7th land! Why don't I have this thing? When a land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands, transform twists and turns. Is that a bug? Is there some judge ruling that I don't understand? This is a land, and it came into play. Oh, it transforms. It doesn't come into play. I get it now. Okay. I like this for fueling my tomb. Ah! So they can double his power to make him a 12/12. I think they're dead. No, I'm 1 off. Dang it. I miscounted. Dang it. If I had brought back my Mycoid the turn before, could I have? No, I needed my big Jade Light guy too. That was just unfortunate. I was one land off. If I had drawn... No, because I... Oh. I needed to use the last Explorer to put it away, I guess. Well, I didn't know they had the doubling of power card. This seems good to me. A little bit of a combo. Nice! Good work, little buddy. Hmm. I just want to have a good turn 5 play, and so I'm going to bring the Spiketail back on that turn. I don't think this card's that good, but I needed 4 drops. I did think that my curve was getting a bit patchy. Ooh, they could put that directly into their hand if they wanted. This game is going great for me. Got my 4-drop. I could have traded with their Death Touch guy, but I wanted to keep my life total high. So you might be wondering why I'm bringing back this instead of the Spiketail. This way I'll still have Descend enabled. And the reason is because next turn they're almost certainly playing this. This Death Toucher, I maybe should have traded with it instead of the Lore Keeper because it can trade with my guy. But now I'm hoping that I can... Gonna try to clear the top of my deck of any lands. Perfect. You want to explore first if you're looking for a spell. Wow. Oh, it doesn't have Death Touch right now. Perfect. So this thing will get to trade with this, but I will have drawn another card. Hopefully it's a spell. Perfect. Just what I needed. Yep. Like, I should be way ahead here. I have 5 cards. But I'm not. They don't even attack. This is just grim. Ah! If only I had the tools to flip this. I'm just dead. My gosh, I'm gonna lose this game. This game was unlosable. I have 7 cards in my hand, and they all suck. Oh, that's actually a boon. Okay, huge. Because their Explore didn't hit, I actually am not dead on board. Unless, of course, they have any spell. Which, of course, they probably do. 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. One of my lands is in the graveyard for 15. What the heck happened? 16, scry to the bottom. What the heck happened this game? I was in such good shape. And then it all went south. No! They hit a removal spell! No! Sure, I'll turn the Mycoid Maze. I'm dead anyway. This will keep things easy for my opponent. Yep, GG. I guess I screwed that up. I fell for the classic blunder where I sacked my land and it hit a Fanatical Offering and I sacked my creature when I should have just like waited a turn so that I could still block and just put it in my hand. I had infinite lands. But yeah, that was, I would say, just unlucky. I mean, I drew 5 lands in a row when I literally had 5 cards. They were all lands when I already had 8 lands in play. And my opponent had 7 lands in play and no cards in hand. And they were still way ahead because of their stupid 5-4. Oh well. I don't feel bad about losing that one. I mean, I did punt it, but it was a minor punt. And I was going to have to cast that card anyway at some point to try and get back into the game, just in terms of cards. I also messed up by killing, by not killing their 1/1 Death Touch. I should have killed their Death Touch Frog instead of their 3/3 guy. I think I would have won if I had done it the other way too. If I had killed their Frog instead of their guy, I think I would have had enough life points to tank the hit a couple turns. Send in for one. Whatley. I don't really have good spidey senses for what they could have here yet. As soon as I attacked, I realized they could have the cog work guy. I'm glad they didn't. Trades are good for me, though. They help this guy come online. That's a good draw. I'm happy trading this for 3 tokens. I think I would rather have my Capybara than kill one of their 1/1s. It would potentially give me a redraw on this guy, but that'll happen soon enough. He's just basking. He's got a little pool. He's got some bird friends. Even our most learned philosophers can only hope to approach the inner serenity of the humble capybara. Whoa. Value. I love the flavor text on this card. A typical conversation with echoes is 3 parts wisdom and 1 part gossip. So you draw 3 and you discard 1 because the gossip is useless. Whoa, they discarded a Envoy of Okonek Ahau. It's pretty good. Ooh, nice draw. I'm actually going to do this for 5. Try to mill 2 non-land permanents. Whoa, the little light thing comes above it. Nice. Next turn I have the Spike Tail to let my guy attack. Man, getting a 6/6 is just good there as well. Field my graveyard. That was a good turn. The Spelunker did his work. I was questioning on the Spelunker, but he's great. They're not going to want to play a small creature here because they know about the dead weight. Could have a counterspell. I'll play around another deal 5. Ah, exile. I'm glad I put it on this guy now as well. Okay. They're trying to get up to some shenanigans. I wonder if artifact removal is main deckable in this format. Like artifact and enchantment removal. Oh no, don't exile my graveyard. Oh, that would suck for me. Oh no. Oh, they just take me out. Oh, pain. That's funny. I don't know why they didn't do that mid-combat. Save. Oh, because they didn't want me dead waiting post-combat. I'm actually really happy. Win or lose, I feel like I played this well. Okay. Okay. Start with this. Definitely keep that bad boy. I'm worried. They're going to flip their card. It's going to make a bunch of tutus. Billions of tutus. Like attacking all here. Keep the pressure on. They get to make some good trades. They can triple block the spike tail. But I'm just digging for my Turian thing. I don't think they should block like this. I would easily triple block the spike tail. I guess they're trying to play around stuff. But I don't know what. I have played my land this turn. So I'll place a note to scout. Gosh darn it. Them exiling my graveyard screwed me. I hate this rare. It's ruining me. Oh, 100% keeping that bad boy on top. Now have a lethal threat, but they do have this stupid Tinker's Tote now to make it even awkward again. Gosh, stop playing Tinker's Tote. Oh, that's frustrating. Feels like I'm not getting anywhere. They also exiled my graveyard. Who does that? All of my good creatures are in here. I needed my Tendril of the Myco Tyrant. What am I going to do now? Beat him with a Primordial Gnawer? No! Oh, gosh. I'm just dead. What the heck? I am enraged. This is just outrageous. My 6 best creatures, all of my big guys were dead, waiting for me to draw Turian's Journal, and they played this guy. Oh my gosh. And exiled it because my Capybara was big. And now I'm going to deck myself. Oh no, they have a Thunder guy. Oh, Criminy. I can't physically do enough damage in time. Just perfect. Get out of here, buddy. questionable whether or not I even have enough time to kill them. Oh, you psychopath. Of course you drew another spell. Why wouldn't you just draw lands? No. I definitely don't have enough time to kill them. Gah! Oh my gosh, your totes are so annoying. Oh, totes annoying. Totes annoys. Gosh, this is a nightmare. I definitely lost. I think that, is this the second time I've decked myself in this draft? No, not this draft. Oh my gosh, and then I'm all out. Gosh. Oh my gosh, they have a 6/6 vehicle. Oh, that was brutal. Well, that was tough. You know, very tough. But it's the toughest moments that bring the fortitude higher. Strength comes from weakness. Weakness into strength. I don't think this deck was bad. I would have won that game if they hadn't exiled my graveyard with their stupid rare. And I was so close. All of my good guys. I just needed my stupid fungus to start making 7/7 lands. Ah! Oh, that was sad. Anyway, if you did make it all the way to the end of the video, in the comment section down below, leave hashtag spelunking to let me know you made it to the end. I think this deck was solid. Didn't get many wins, but it was a learning experience. Anyway, thanks to Wizards for giving me a free preview account in the early access event, and I'll talk to you folks next time.